Hello, my name is Carolyn Smigelski. I'm a graduate student at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, California. I'm here with my teammates. We are presenting on GE Vernova, and my teammates are Edgar Flores from Loyola Marymount University. There's Patrick Holmquist, also from Loyola Marymount University, and there's Tiago Oliveira from Católica, Porto Business School. And let's get started with our agenda. I'll be covering background, talk a little bit about their history, about what they do. We're also going to discuss their reporting, go over some SDGs that are important for the company. We'll be talking about their strategy, going over criticality for what they intend to do. And then also go over the conclusion to close this out and also cover some references. So beginning first with a background of GE Vernova, they are a global leader in renewable energy solutions. They offer a diverse portfolio of products and services, including onshore and offshore wind turbines, hydroelectric power plants, and grid solutions. With a commitment to sustainability and innovation, GE Renewable Energy strives to accelerate the world's transition to cleaner energy sources, driving economic growth and environmental stewardship. Now, a little bit about the history behind the company is that they were formed as a result of GE merging and spinning off its energy business. They became GE Power, GE Renewable Energy, GE Digital, and also GE Energy Financial Services. And just a month ago, in April 2024, GE Renewable Energy became GE Vernova and was listed on the stock exchange as GEV. Now, I highlighted briefly some areas of activity, and the main areas include provision of services for project development, operations, and maintenance. You know, the four areas that they cover in detail on their website include power, wind, electrification, and accelerators. Now, they specialize in gas turbines and wind turbines and hydroelectric systems and things like that. And so you can see the list there of the different types of solutions that they offer for each of these industries. So a little bit more about their background. Sustainability is a guiding principle that's very deeply ingrained into its operation, and the company recognizes the role that it plays within the renewable energy sector. Now, taking a look at their mission statement, they do highlight these principles, and just wanted to read an excerpt from the mission statement, which includes addressing the climate crisis is an urgent global priority, and we take our responsibility seriously. That is our singular mission at GE Vernova, continuing to electrify the world while simultaneously working to help decarbonize it. So you can see that it is very, very well entrenched into the culture of their company. And so taking a look at the sustainability issues that are going to be impacting GE Vernova, I just highlighted a couple here. These are issues that affect the renewable energy sector as a whole. So not just GE Vernova, but other companies that are involved in this area of work. And so one of the impacts is, of course, climate change on and how that impacts energy production and distribution. Of course, there's going to be increasing pressure to shift the sourcing of this energy to be something from a renewable source, and also to decrease pollution. And so what GE Vernova does is it invests heavily in R&D in order to be innovative in this area and to help with resilience in these renewable energy technologies. A second issue that affects the renewable energy sector is that there's the impact of environmental and social impacts of renewable energy infrastructure development. Whenever they go in and they set up a wind farm, there's displacement of bird populations. Whenever they go and set it up offshore, there's the impacts to the ecology and marine life. And so they are very conscious of this, and they do try to mitigate this problem by conducting lots of environmental impact assessments. They foster collaboration and open dialogue with the community so that they can best get around some of these problems and understand the issues that are really present in where they go to develop their where they have an impact. And so just one last slide on the background. GE Vernova faces challenges that require careful navigation and innovative solutions to maintain its position as a leader in renewable energy. And they're certainly a very, very big company, probably the number one in the renewable energy sector. And so they're they try very hard to maintain that position while also addressing the issues of sustainability that are within this realm that they operate. And so several issues that are very unique to GE Vernova is balancing the technological innovation with environmental conservatism. GE Vernova, they prioritize the development of solutions that minimize environmental impact throughout the entire product life cycle. From start to finish, they are very concerned about what their impact is on the whole process. The way they go about trying to overcome some of these hurdles is that they invest heavily in R&D to explore novel materials, refine manufacturing processes to reduce emissions. They incorporate smart technologies to improve efficiencies. Those are just a few of the ways that they try to navigate this unique challenge that they encounter. Another big hurdle that they do face in the industry is the regulatory landscape in different global markets. Of course, they're widely popular here in the US, but they also have a very large presence abroad. And this is a picture here from the Global EPC Summit in Dubai, where they were building a partnership with the local policymakers and key stakeholders so that they can navigate this regulatory landscape so that they comply with regulation and take advantage of regional incentives.
Hello, my name is Edgar Flores, and I will discuss the reporting at GE Vernova. Firstly, I begin with the sustainability principles. This involves credibility, continuous learning, collaboration, and a commitment to innovation and technology. Firstly, in terms of credibility, this is just a priority in first and foremost, sharing everything they know and don't know with their shareholders. In terms of continuous learning, this analysis is based on how things are seen today and progress over time. In terms of collaboration, this is between the customers, investors, regulators, peers, and those throughout the value chain to achieve the goals. Fourthly, the commitment to innovation and technology. This plays an important role in achieving the energy sector's net zero goals. In terms of reporting, firstly, there's a commitment to sustainability. There's a core integration. So sustainability is central to GE Vernova's corporate strategy and its aim to decarbonize and electrify global systems. In terms of strategic goals, the company targets carbon neutrality in its operations by 2030, reflecting in its commitment to reducing environmental impacts. Secondly, regular reporting on sustainability. There are performance updates, which GE Vernova publishes annual sustainability reports that detail their environmental and operational impacts, and initiative highlights. These are regular updates on key projects. Thirdly, there's communication on the sustainability information, which are internal communication and external communication. Internally, this involves employee training programs that focus on sustainability practices. Externally, it's with the comprehensive annual reports, which are available on the GE Vernova website. And there's active dissemination of sustainability milestones through social media channels to keep the public and stakeholders informed. Fourthly, assessment and reporting practices. These involve transparency and comprehensiveness. So the reports are evaluated for their depth and clarity. And this includes third-party audits and the adherence to global reporting standards. In terms of KPIs, key performance indicators, some of the examples include reductions in CO2 emissions, energy efficiency improvements, and the deployment of renewable energy solutions. Now I'll go into the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In terms of SDGs, as you can see here, firstly, through the innovation, leading the energy transition, GE Vernova is committed to decarbonizing the energy sector while increasing access to more sustainable, reliable, and affordable electricity. And this involves the SDGs 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, and 17, as you can see here. In terms of developing the future of flight, GE Vernova is leading the way of next generation industry-leading technology innovation that offers the potential to achieve at least 20% improvement in fuel efficiency. Next, just in terms of the priorities for GE Vernova, this involves safety, which GE's expectation is to maintain a safe and healthy work environment. This extends beyond its own operations, and this includes through customer sites, field services, and at project installation and construction locations. In terms of human rights, it's detailed in the recent human rights report. They have a due diligence program that provides the foundation from which they respect and protect the rights of their own workers. In terms of environmental stewardship, they collaborate across their value chain to turn net zero and other sustainable challenges into opportunities to advance more sustainable development. And they also lift their own communities. So while they put innovation, technology, and resources to work locally, nationally, and internationally, partnering with educational opportunities and mentoring in the community. Lastly, in terms of the approach, there is governance. So they integrate sustainability across how they operate in terms of having a board oversight committee. In terms of, there is also a culture of integrity. So they focus on not just what they do, but also how they do it. Integrity is basically in the core of everything they do. Lastly, and probably one of the most important, is advancing diversity and inclusion. And these are long-term goals that are focused through 3 strategic pillars: transparency, accountability, and community. And they pay great attention to STEM education in local communities in order to advance people potentially working for them in the future that can be educated locally.
Let's now talk about strategy. The sustainability framework is organized in 4 pillars: electrify, decarbonize, conserve, and thrive. Concerning to electrify, GE wants to be a leading provider of new generating and gridding capacity. They want to enable electrification in regions lacking secure, reliable, sustainable, and affordable access to electricity. And they aim to support workforce development with a focus on underserved populations globally. Regarding to decarbonize, they want innovating toward the 2050 Scope 3 net zero ambition for sold products, and they want to reduce carbon intensity. Concerning to conserve, they want carbon neutrality for Scope 1 and 2 greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, and they want to achieve 90% of top products covered by the 4R circularity framework by 2030. Regarding to thrive, they want to promote fatality-free operations, to demonstrate progress on global gender representation and locally underrepresented populations, to train 100% of the salaried employees on ethics and compliance, and they want to partner with suppliers to promote and uphold human rights in all the value chain. We identified two strengths of the company: technological expertise in renewable energy solutions. The company boasts of a great technological expertise in renewable energy solutions, derived from years of innovation and research in the field. The company's proficiency spans across various technologies, including wind turbines, hydroelectric systems, and solar solutions. With a focus on continuous improvement and innovation, the company remains at the forefront of developing cutting-edge technologies to address the world's energy needs sustainably. And second, a strong commitment to sustainability goals. The company demonstrates a steadfast commitment to sustainability goals, ingrained deeply within its corporate culture and operations. Sustainability is not just a buzzword for the company, but a guiding principle that informs every aspect of its business strategy. Though initiatives aimed at reducing carbon emissions, promoting renewable energy adoption, and fostering environmental stewardship, the company actively contributes to building a greener and more sustainable future. We identified two weaknesses on the company: a limited integration of circular economy principles in product design and manufacturing. The company currently exhibits a limited integration of circular economy principles in its product design and manufacturing processes. Circular economy principles aim to minimize waste and maximize the lifespan of products through recycling, refurbishment, and reuse. By enhancing the incorporation of circular economy principles, the company can reduce resource consumption, minimize waste generation, and improve sustainability across its operations. The second one, challenges in achieving biodiversity conservation goals at project sites. The company faces challenges in achieving biodiversity conservation goals at project sites. Renewable energy infrastructure development, such as wind farms and hydroelectric systems, can impact local ecosystems and wildlife habitats. To address this weakness, the company must strengthen its biodiversity conservation efforts through comprehensive environmental impact assessments, habitat restoration initiatives, and strategic partnerships with conservation organizations. And we propose two suggestions for improvement. First one, implementing cradle-to-cradle design principles to enhance product lifecycle sustainability. The company can enhance its sustainability strategy by implementing cradle-to-cradle design principles in its product lifecycle. Cradle-to-cradle design focuses on creating products that can be continuously recycled or repurposed at the end of their life cycle, minimizing waste and maximizing resource efficiency. With this approach, the company can design renewable energy technologies with materials that are easily recyclable, ensuring a closed-loop system that reduces environmental impact and promotes circularity. And the second one, collaborating with environmental organizations for biodiversity conservation efforts. Strengthening collaboration with environmental organizations can bolster the company's biodiversity conservation efforts. Partnering with NGOs and conservation groups allows the company to leverage their expertise and resources for implementing effective conservation measures at project sites. By actively engaging in habitat restoration initiatives, wildlife monitoring programs, and community-based conservation projects, the company can mitigate the environmental impacts of its operations and contribute to preserving biodiversity.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to be talking about trying to put all of this in context for you. With the current rate of emissions, the carbon budget required for what McKinsey and others are referring to as a 1.5 degree Celsius pathway is going to be exceeded before 2030. So with our current output of carbon from our energy grid systems, it's looking like within the next 20 years or so, we're going to see a 2.9 to 3, possibly 3.5 degree jump in global temperatures. Obviously, companies like GE Vernova and McKinsey, Deloitte, et cetera, all of these major consulting firms are looking at how they can potentially or possibly help America and other advanced countries budget carbon in a way that's going to keep us on this 1.5 degree pathway. Current trends in energy consumption, electricity consumption is in the advanced economies fell in 2023. That had a lot to do with weakening economic and manufacturing output. However, that trend is not projected to continue as the global economy sort of stabilizes and trends back upward. We're expecting, or IEA is expecting, that global electricity demand is going to rise at a faster rate over the next 3 years than the last. And it's going to rise at an average of 3.4% annually through 2026. Now, electricity consumption from data centers and artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency is really going to be the main driver of that electricity consumption. IEA is projecting that the energy consumption from those sources is going to double over the next 3 years. So project that into the future and see that data centers, AI, crypto are going to be main sources of draw on the energy system. And about 85% of that additional demand is going to come from outside the advanced economies, with China contributing very substantially to that amount as they continue to electrify and boost their electricity grid and manufacturing output. McKinsey has identified 5 key low carbon technologies that are going to be key in budgeting our carbon for the future. You can see that they're projecting that heat pumps, EVs, solar, wind, and hydrogen, green hydrogen, are going to be the main drivers of our ability to lower our carbon output. Especially, they're projecting heat pumps are going to have like a 4 to 5 times gain in usage if we achieve our commitments in the future. GE Vernova really factors in under solar, wind, and hydrogen. They also, because they are sort of greenifying the electricity grid, will assist with electric vehicles actually contributing to a net decrease in carbon. As they draw from the electricity system, when that electricity system is made of a greener mix of power, electric vehicles will help us decarbonize our economic system. You can see here that McKinsey has also sort of identified potential bottlenecks, things that will limit our ability to push for this green energy recalibration of our electric system. You can see that it seems to me that green hydrogen is at the largest risk, but it's also a budding field and something that's being researched and developed, and this is kind of makes sense for where green hydrogen is at in its life cycle, where materials aren't readily available, supply lines, manufacturing are not necessarily available, infrastructure is not necessarily available, and neither is the capital deployment from the financial system. So what this really does is it lowers green hydrogen's cost competitiveness, especially when you compare it to other options like wind and solar. You can see that with the push for wind, solar, and other forms of electric output that are decarbonized, you can see that with the capital development and the research that we really can lower our bottlenecks and our risk factors for actually pulling off this decarbonization effort. McKinsey identifies few questions for the future. I'd like to talk about where GE Vernova sits in that framework. So the first question they asked is, will there be sufficient availability of key materials such as lithium, steel, copper? These are things that we need to store energy in order to facilitate all of these new clean energy technologies. Now, GE Vernova does fit in this category because they're working on all of these clean energy technologies. They're working on technological development, but they're also, as they do so, working on supply lines, manufacturing, and shoring up some of our gaps in availability for the key materials. Now, this is also a geopolitical question, so our government is going to be a very important key player in this going forward. So is there adequate manufacturing or assembly capacity and labor to meet the forecasted growth in clean energy technology? Again, this is exactly where GE Vernova is participating and developing our new technologies that are going to see us into the future. And that includes, research and development is nice, but it needs to include that manufacturing and labor and supply chain piece in order to make the research a reality. Will there be enough land available for wind and solar generation, for example? One of the things that is trend is that offshore wind farms are, not exactly seeing a resurgence in their usage and their ability to be set up. So, wind may struggle in the future. So, ensuring that there's enough land, this isn't exactly something that GE Vernova is responsible for, but it's a part of an ongoing conversation. Will the required infrastructure such as grid transmission and distribution for solar, EV charging infrastructure, and hydrogen pipelines and fueling stations be built or expanded enough to meet anticipated growth? This is exactly where GE Vernova fits in. Working with partners to ensure that distribution is there, working on technologies to make that distribution more efficient, and working with shareholders and potential investors, which is our last point, to really make the capital mobilization from the financial institutions as easy as possible. GE Vernova factors that into their approach. They are really solid with their reporting and making sure that, although they've set lofty goals of net zero carbon by 2030, which, is coming up in 6 years, they are reporting and being transparent and making it as easy as possible for, large corporations to invest their dollars. And this is really where GE Vernova is contributing to our last three questions, which is, about technologies being able to compete with conventional technologies, and will the capital be deployed in a way that's going to make sense. So GE Vernova is doing, in my opinion, their utmost to ensure that these last 3 points go as smoothly as possible. I'd like to leave you with a quote from the CEO of GE Vernova, Scott Strazik. He says, "We have a crucial leadership role to play in the energy transition, and a strategic imperative to electrify and decarbonize the world, innovating while conserving the planet's resources, and supporting our employees and communities to thrive. And that's one thing, Edgar was talking about how, although there's decarbonization efforts, companies that are attempting to really grow this and take care of our environment need to consider more than just rapid expansion of these technologies. There are bird populations to consider, there's local ecology to consider, there's the human aspect, and really making sure that as they grow, they're honoring the dignity of their employees and the communities that they serve. And I think that Scott has really captured that in this statement, and we're looking forward to see how they do in the future, and it seems like the future is bright. Have a good evening, everybody, and thank you for your time.